Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 6 of the streamerbot podcast. Our guest is here when it loads. Is today's guest is gnaggy. These are streamed live on Twitch. So Terry Darts, no. See, I told you I screw it up. Twitch.tv/Terrier Darts. If you can't understand what I'm saying, link of that will be below, as always. And if you want to keep updated, just follow me on Twitter. Link for that will be below as well. But that is twitter.com/Terrier Darts. So the purpose of this podcast is bring on a guest. We speak to them all about streamerbot, what they've built, what they've done, how long they've had it, all that stuff. But today is slightly different because gnaggy only cut streamerbot about a week ago,
Yes, sir.
and this is where we're going to get more of a first impressions look into streamerbot. So, first off, gnaggy, welcome and thank you for agreeing to be my guest.
Oh, no, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
As I said, these are streamed live on Twitch, so if you see me randomly smiling, it's because I'm reading chat. If you do have any questions for gnaggy, feel free to use the highlight message and highlight your message so we can get to them. But, yeah. So, anyone who doesn't know gnaggy, we were just talking before we started, that we've known each other about 2 years now.
Yep.
2 years, 3 weeks, I think it was.
Yep.
And I think we were talking about how we became to know each other. And the running theory is I raided gnaggy and then he followed me after. That's the running theory.
Yep. Follow age is only like an hour apart, so I
Yeah.
think you're right.
And I think it was a recommendation from Stu, one of my mods, so retro_Stu,
Good old
His-
Stu.
who recommended, as always. And anyone who does get mentioned in the podcast, their links will be below as well, just so you know. So there's a lot of people to follow, a lot of people to check out. But we're going to crack on pretty much because, well, we're just going to crack on. Why not? Because the first question is always a really good one. And this is probably like a set question. Is how and why and the wheres and the who's of you starting streaming. Where did this idea come from? Why did you do it? What were it like? Etc. etc.
Well, for that, I know for a fact that I can 100% blame my brother. He started streaming first. Doesn't stream as much now. He's still in university, but GG scrim exactly. So he started streaming for a few months. I think what had happened was he was just hanging out on Discord, playing a lot of Fortnite. He got to know some friends who streamed, which piqued his interest in streaming. And at some point, since it was the pandemic, I know that's like a thing we have in common with a lot of people we know in our community, was that the pandemic was what stopped giving them an excuse to not stream. So at some point, I was just like, yeah, I'll give this a go. And Scrim and his friends were always there for like my streams to make sure I got those 3 viewers to be an affiliate. Um, and then it just sort of just took off from there. Scrim and his friends were following Super Murgatroyd, and that led me to Jiggly, which led me to Stu, which led me to you, and a whole other bunch of people. So it's been pretty cool. Been pretty cool to been pretty wild. That's been 2 years. It doesn't feel like that at all. But yeah, that is the who, what, when, where, why.
And so, so you say your brother was he encouraged you to stream, or you just saw what you were doing and you thought, oh, I'll give that a go?
Yeah, I've always had an interest in like content creation, especially with games. Prior to Twitch, I had tried some like let's plays for YouTube. They're now gone. I felt very awkward about those, so I took them down. And then, yeah, I mean, at the time my routine was very monotonous. I was going to work. I was would go to work, come home, play games, do whatever. Then I just decided, why not? It looks like Scrim's having fun. I've been interested in doing streams for a while, so why not give it a go? And yeah, been very fortunate to meet the people I have met.
Can you remember what you first streamed? Can you remember the first game or?
Ooh, that is a good question. Um, I believe the first game I ever streamed was Dishonored. Is it called Dishonored? That's a good point, Stu. This is another reason I blame my brother. Yeah, but I think it was Dishonored. I was streaming straight off the PlayStation, um, and that was a chaotic playthrough. I tried to make sure I did low chaos in that playthrough, but it was impossible. It was impossible to not kill everyone and mess everything up.
See, I'm trying to remember. As we said at the beginning, that I raided you. Now I'm
Mm.
trying to remember if I can remember what you were playing. And part of me thinks it was either something like Last of Us
Mm-hmm.
or something like Red Dead.
I don't think it would have been Last of Us because I think Last of Us might have been the first thing I saw you play. Because I remember you were playing. Honestly, Z, my biggest memory from that game is I put a hostage down, but he was near a bomb, and it went off, and he was supposed to stay alive. And I'm like, God damn it. But yeah, I definitely saw you play Last of Us. I think that was the first thing I saw you play. Red Dead could have been it.
I say that it's because something in the bottom of my mind. I remember that little like HUD that you have, that little like mini map or whatever. So in my
Mhm.
bottom, I can remember that, and I don't know what you're playing, but
Hmm.
it felt something along them lines.
Okay.
And you'll never see me play Rocket League. But welcome in, Kels. Hope you're doing well. I'm very cold. I don't know how it is for you, but it's cold for me.
Yeah, I'm freezing.
Don't even start.
I'm freezing over here with my. Let me see.
When are you
21
gonna?
degrees.
Oh my god. Thanks for joining us. Podcast is over. See you all later. No. But so moving on. You I mean, is what what is your like prior to you getting streamed, but now what were your setup like?
So basically, when it came to stream, uh, everything I have now was things that were recommended to me on day one from my brother. So I have OBS, um, and everything I have in terms of commands and sounds is Stream Elements. I only recently added Streamlabs bot for walk-in sounds for people, and that was basically the first time I've deviated away from Stream Elements. But everything so far has just been through there, and it's a very basic setup. Um, like I haven't really touched it since I moved over to streaming on a PC.
What was your first stream not on a PC?
The first stream was straight off the PlayStation. I do remember that.
Yeah, I mean, I said that. I think we had what Bongo. was started on console. I think
Hmm.
Andy on his podcast said he started on console, and Mickey I think said he started on console.
Hmm.
Which it's weird how many people actually do start on console.
Yeah, I guess it's like an accessibility thing. I guess.
Um, and as I said in them podcasts, that it's so easy as well. It just literally is a couple of clicks. Because you are PlayStation, aren't you? You're not Xbox, you're PlayStation, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My
So
console, yeah,
yeah, so you literally you'll know that you can just press the share button, and it
yeah,
comes up, and it's literally just connecting, and everything's really easy. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and you're away.
yep.
But yeah, I mean, Stream Elements isn't the worst thing out there. As you see, that I use Stream Elements for a little bit, and but as we will get into, there are some flaws in Stream Elements that
Hmm.
made me move away from Stream Elements. But again, as you said, one of the flaws not being able to have the walking sounds. Bob's your uncle and Fanny's your aunt. Just means, job's a good one. Sorry for my Yorkshire accent. But so, like I said, so when you say using Streamlabs, are you using the chatbot?
Yes, the chatbot, yeah, Streamlabs chatbot.
Yeah.
But literally all I use it for is walk-ins, because Stream Elements doesn't do that, and I think it was through talking to Jess. She had just added her walk-ins, and then that was something I had wanted to do for a while, and she showed me how to do it. It's very simple, so I just like, you know what, I'll yeah, from for the Christopher Walken sounds. That was terrible. Ignore that. Um, yeah, but it looks like that could be that is something I can potentially transfer over to streamerbot.
Yeah. So if you've been on Mickey stream, he has walking sounds,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all done in Streamerbot. So
Yeah.
it is there. And in fairness, recently since a recent change, it's been made super easy with a little bit of code
Mm-hmm.
done by me, obviously, because I'm a genius. But yeah, so we now know that who Gnaggy is. We now know what his setup were like in using Stream Elements. And you're using Stream Elements for like sounds, didn't you? You had sound effects, you had some commands.
Yeah, basically, Stream Elements. All I really use it for is for sound commands, and the later on the shout out that pops up, the awesome shout out by I forget the guy's name who created that. But yeah,
Yeah. Did you ever delve into the counters like a death counter with Stream Elements? Did you ever do it like that?
no, I never did. Mostly to hide that information from people.
Because we know like I mean, it can be done. Stream Elements can be done. You can do death counters
Mhm.
in there, stuff like that. So, but
Yeah.
so we know where he is. We know where he's at now. So you got the bot a little over a week ago. I think we first started talking.
Something like that. Yeah.
And so the first question is like, what were your first impressions? Was it easy to download? Was it easy to open? Was it easy, just to get it open on your PC?
Hmm.
What are your first impressions on that?
I mean, in terms of downloading and stuff, very quick, very easy. Um, it ran right away, and it seems to be like I like how simple it looks and how light it is. A lot of times when you want to do something with stream and it involves streaming, they're quite intensive on a computer. Like, for example, when I was streaming off the PlayStation and I needed to download the software for Elgato, that was so heavy on the computer. So it's nice to have something that's just a little light.
Yeah, and obviously you opened it, and I know that people have called it intimidating when it first
Hmm.
opens. Did you? I mean, I can get why they're saying that, but like say, what were your when you first opened it? You saw it straight away. You thought, okay. I mean, I know there's tabs and stuff like that, so tabs say what each thing is, but
Yeah.
was there a sort when you're like, oh wow, this looks a little bit more complicated, or did it look less complicated than
Um,
you thought?
I definitely say that of all the things that like intimidated me the most, it probably would have been all those little, like all those small tabs. And yeah, like the first thing that comes to mind is like, oh, there's a lot I have to keep track of and keep in mind of doing. Um, so plus the fact that a lot, like a lot of these actions that you want to do, there's um like specific terms and stuff that you have to use, otherwise they won't work. So that can be a little intimidating for someone like me. I'm not very like tech savvy. I'm not very um like I don't keep track of all these things very well. But uh once I got over that hump and started looking at some guides and videos and stuff, it's been all right.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I will say, I mean, I've always I've always said things about, streamerbot saying streamerbot's great. I love streamerbot, but it's not the only thing out there. And I've
Hmm.
always been sure that to say to people, you can look at things like Sammy, or you can look at Mix It Up, because they may work better for you and what you need.
Right.
And like I say, it's good that when I look at them, that as you say with guides and documentation, I always feel like Streambot has the edge from um have the edge on the documentation over the other bots.
Right.
I always feel like Streambot has a really good documentation to go with it. As I sent you two pages. We sent you the wiki, which is very intensive and a lot on that.
Yeah.
And then I sent you the extension site, which I've worked on with a few other people, which has a lot of community built things, which we will obviously get into a little bit later on. But it's really good that there's that much documentation that it takes away, I think, that edge, that initial edge, I think sometimes.
Hmm.
But not everybody knows about that. And I think had you just found the bot, stumbled upon the bot, would you have known about the wiki? Would you have known about the extension site?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
yeah,
Even the guide. When I was initially looking at it, I got a little intimidated. I'm like, oh, there's all these things I got to do and stuff like that. So um, yeah, just allowing yourself to feel a little overwhelmed, and then just slowly looking through things is definitely like a good way to go about that.
do you think there could be anything added there which would make that easier? Would you take that initial edge away?
Well, what really helped me was watching videos. So like I'm not really sure what would be the takeaway there. Maybe if videos were linked on the guide site, maybe they were and I missed it. um but the videos helped, and then once I watched the videos, that made uh the site and like all the text more digestible for me.
Because we spoke about this um last last podcast
Hmm.
um about what can we do to make the bot initially as that first load up easier on the first user. And we put a lot of different ideas out, and again, every idea seems to have its pros and cons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think something where you had a pop up, maybe your first result that said, "Here's the wiki, here's the extension, here's some great YouTube channels to follow." I think that for me, being able to link straight to all the documentations for that could take that edge off.
Hmm.
But again, people will then open it, close it, and then open it again, and then be like, "Hold on, what do I do here?
Right.
So it has its pros and cons, I think.
Mhm. And
But yeah,
Kels, yes, I am. I'm also Indonesian.
sorry, Kelsey's Scottish as well. Although,
I wouldn't have
she,
guessed.
you wouldn't have guessed. It's not obvious, is it?
No, not at all.
The amount of times that we've been in a chat, or and we've raided out with her,
Mhm.
and people will go, "Hey Scott, thank you for the raid," and you're thinking, "What, Scott?" Because they haven't read the name, they just read Scott. Like they not see the Ish Kells. She
It's
has
three
this,
people: Scott, Tish, and Kels.
yeah. She has this redeem in a chat that if you do
Mhm.
American, it'll reply back saying, "Imagine being American," because it's it's part of the joke of her stream because
I feel like it's part of the joke in everyday life too.
yes
Skittish.
she has that one. She has that one. The CUNT emotes
Mm.
because it's not a well received word over there apparently.
Yeah, I remember saying that in when I was in college. I said the C bomb, and when these one of my friends just looked at me. He's like, "Wow." I'm like, "What?"
Oh good. What makes that story is your impression of how he said wow.
It was pretty much just like that.
Really broad American accent.
I think it's a good word. Although what I will say is I don't think cunt. I don't think cunt sounds as good in an American accent. I
Mm.
think it sounds better in a British.
It it sounds better coming from a 2 year old who's Scottish. And if you don't get that joke, Kel's oh god, make me laugh to this. Kel's was streaming,
Mhm.
and someone said to her, do an Australian accent," and she was like, "Good day, you cunt," or whatever she did, right? And a 2 year old next to her, and a 2 year old copied her,
Oh my god.
and it was amazing. And
Uh,
I was howling.
it was another time. My cousin, my cousin is a New Yorker, and he was hosting some friends he made when he was backpacking in Ireland, and so he had these two Irish guys join him in New York City, and they were talking about some story, and then they kept saying cunt, and my cousin turns to me and says, "Oh, they just say it a lot over there." I'm not, and I just look at him. I know, I love it.
Like it is strange that we speak the same language, but I think we've used this example before. We
Yeah,
speak the same language, but we
yeah,
use it so differently.
yeah,
It is
hundred
so
percent.
amazing that we use it so differently. The fact that the way even is regional accents in Britain,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't think anywhere in the world where you have such a small place, you have so many different regional accents
Yeah,
and a different use of the language. You know, England itself is probably smaller than a lot of US states, and you're thinking, how do we speak language so differently? Which
because Americans have to be different.
which,
That's what it is.
which makes actually like talking online or giving support to people so much harder
Mm-hmm.
because you have to try break it down like properly.
Yeah,
And I say to some people, sometimes what you say and what you mean don't always correlate. So
yeah,
you can't just be like, oh well, I say it straight, because if you say it straight, it comes across as rude, and you can't do that because you're gonna get people back anyway.
yep.
But anyway, that is a mild digression. Um, so we know what your first impressions were, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing we kind of got you to do is connecting to Twitch and connecting
Yep.
to OBS. Now, I have my opinion on how difficult or easy this is.
Yeah.
But what's your opinion?
I liked how straightforward it was. I don't know, like I I feel like usually they require, like, whenever I've connected things to Twitch or something, it always needs like my Twitch to like log in, and I have to remember my password, which I'm terrible at. So no, I think it was like very easy, very straightforward. I don't know if I have much more feedback than that, but like it was just, I just liked how easy that was.
So, for me, I remember what the bot used to look like. So the bot used to have a big connected Twitch button at the
Yeah,
bottom, because
yeah,
when it first came out, it didn't have YouTube support, so it had to wait 8 versions, public versions, I think,
hmm,
before it got any sort of YouTube support.
yeah,
So it was pure Twitch, and so it had this big box, a bomb thing connected to Twitch, which made it so much easier.
hmm.
Now, for me, connecting to Twitch is slightly hidden.
Oh, okay,
So if you think about it, you click on platforms, then you click on Twitch, then you have to click on accounts,
okay,
and bear in mind, accounts is at the end of a list of about 8 or 9 other tabs.
hmm,
So it's not initially for me the most visible thing. Um, which I said I'd fix that by adding something. Again, what I think isn't always like the bigger view of streamerbot, but normally most of my ideas they're somewhere on the list, but most of the ideas are somewhere on the list, but certain things get priority. And since that's
okay,
more quality of life, we'll see when. My opinion is on first open, it should prompt the user which platform they want to start with, and open on the accounts page. Yeah, that would help as well if you opened on some sort of a different page. But and again, I think when bot was first done, I'm thinking back, OBS was its own tab along with
hmm,
Streamlabs, and then they got merged together into the Stream apps, which, when you think about it, does sound logical now. These are the streaming apps you're using,
yeah,
but I don't think when sometimes you're in there, it's just not always obvious that that's where it is. Stream apps.
yeah, right, right, right.
So maybe give that a different name. What would I call it? I've no idea. I think Stream apps is a good name, but also in the same sentence, I don't think it's a good name. If you know what I mean, it's like the best name you can give it, but
Yeah,
it's nowhere near perfect. So anything else you call it will be worse.
yeah, that's
But
true.
but
Yeah,
calling it Stream apps still isn't perfect. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
hmm,
So I think that's what I'd do is a thingy. Again though, as I said, this is when we talked about opening it up to start with. What could we do to make it easier that, people, it shows you how to connect to Twitch straight away when you
hmm,
first open it. So you don't have to go looking for the answer. And it tells you how to connect to which platform you want to connect to,
right.
etc.
Okay.
etc.
Yeah, yeah.
So it just gives you that basic information, because connecting to Twitch, connecting to OBS is the first 2 things you're going to want to do. And it's why it's the first 2 things you did and the first 2 things I got you to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, but like we said, is once you've done it, you think, well, this is simple. Now if you ever need to reconnect to Twitch or reconnect to OBS, you don't ever have to ask that information twice.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that was the only thing, was the OBS, connecting to OBS was only tricky for me because I needed to download um
The WebSocket.
the WebSocket, yeah, which I didn't have. But once I did,
Yeah.
very simple.
So once you got the WebSocket, you had it. If you would have had StreamBot 28, I mean, not streamerbot 28, OBS 28, it would have had the website built in, so it would have felt there. And I still get confused by the UI. I still click in the wrong place. There's certain things in the settings which I won't have in the settings because it just seems to be pointless to be in the settings. But that's just me. The great thing is anything that you don't use you can hide as well. So I think that's a really handy thing. But not a lot of people know that. So after I got you connected to Twitch, after we got you to OBS, the next thing we asked you to do was build a shout out, which is one of the most common commands. Everybody has a shout out command, and I think in streamerbot they range from really simple to really complex. And depending on what you want. So what did you do?
Mine was very simple. Since I was just since it's like my first time using the app, I wanted to just keep it simple, just so I'm familiar with everything I have to do. So yeah, I would like to build on it because I do have the awesome shout out extension from Stream Elements. It'd be cool if I could figure out a way to do something similar, but not maybe not necessarily the same thing.
Yeah. So yours is simple. So yours is just literally shout out, and it'll reply a message saying, "Go check out this person," and it gives a link. And so did you use any variables in your shout out? Did you work out any of the variables?
I think all I really did was I don't know if you can hear the mosque, so if that's loud, let me know. No, I just had it go with like user and then follow them over at twitch.tv/user. I'm pretty sure that's all I did. I wanted to keep that simple, and then see what I can do with the other tasks, because like one of the things when we were discussing this, one of the things I really wanted to do was to get a GIF to play every time certain phrases were said in chat. I was very excited to get that done. So I was glad to have GIFs that could be activated by chat. So I think I said to you that my focus definitely went there for a bit, that I forgot that there were these things that I should try out. So yeah, I kept the shout out very simple.
Yeah. So for context, just so everyone with gnaggy not being a streamerbot user, what I did was I said, here's 5 tasks I want you to do. One of them was connect to Twitch, one was connect to OBS, one was build a shout out, and there's 2 others which we'll get to. Because I can't do the what have you built in streamerbot ones and what have you this I can't do them kind of questions because he's new. So we had a wow, that went loud then. It wasn't too bad then, it just had that really loud moment. But yeah, so that's what we did. So building shout out. So I built something like the awesome shout out. Basically, it mixes. Well, it kind of for Meki, it kind of mixes what he has. So he has the awesome shout out where it shows the top text, the bottom text in the picture.
Yeah.
Does what it needs to do. Then that hides, and then the clip plays. So that's all controlled by stream. Even though he does a shout out, and that triggers stream elements, he also has something that triggers something in streamerbot to mold them so they all time right. So it triggers both stream elements and streamerbot at the same time, but then it triggers the shout out command that he has that plays the clip. So I built something to do the same thing, where you can edit, you can adjust it for certain people. But I ain't actually released that yet. But that's what I'm just like flexing that's what I built. But it's quite cool. It does. It does start with a profile picture. Using all the filters you need, it opens up into the clip, plays a clip, then hides, which is quite cool. But again, it's one of the things. Streamer allows you to do it as complex or as easy as you want. So
Yeah, I have noticed that with like all the sub actions, like you really can just go as in depth as you want.
um, yeah. So you built a shout out, and it returns this and all that. We didn't get to play with the if statements and stuff like that, so we can do different shout outs for different people yet. But again, that's something further down the line that you can do with streamerbot. So after we built a shout out, the next thing we kind of had you do was play with channel points. So when I say play with channel points is streamerbot can interact with your channel points. Now the caveat is it can only interact with the ones it creates. When I say interact, it means changing the name of them, changing the price, changing the prompt, and turning them on and off, which is something Meki talked about, being able to turn channel points on and off really easy. So at this point, what did you do?
Yeah, so I was having a look, and I was trying to think of something that could be good for the channel. I don't know if I found something that's like really really like topical for the channel, but what I thought could be fun and like a thing that keep me active, because I've had things in the past where people can redeem for me to get. You used to redeem this a lot when I had it, the exercise bike. Uh,
Yeah, I remember that.
so I have an idea. We'll see if I stick with it. But the idea is that, for example, you would redeem for one push up for 1,000 points, and then the next would be two push ups for 2,000, three push ups for 3,000. So it would just add up, and at the end of the stream, I would do them all. So I have it set so that the price will go up by 1,000, but it's one push up for every 1,000.
That's cool.
So we'll see. We'll
So
see. I'll definitely keep it around. See how it goes. If I get too tired, I will have no shame in getting rid of it.
but yeah, I mean things like that, just being able to increase price of a channel point, I think
Yeah.
is always good. I think if you look
Yeah.
at
Go ahead.
no, you go ahead, go on.
I was just gonna say, because it is nice for things where if you have a redeem where it's where people are having not necessarily a go at you, but it's not like something you want to do. So the fact that the price can increase is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think we used it in Mickey's hidden sound effects.
Hmm.
If you
Yeah,
notice
yeah,
that
I
one,
remember that.
that increase in price. Um, I pitched an idea to Jess again about uh her good vibes one,
Hmm.
and it did so many things. It increased in price every time you redeemed it,
Yeah.
but over time it would lower in price. So
Oh,
the time would lower.
interesting.
But also then when you added vibes, it say on top of the screen like current vibes, and if you set good vibes, it would add like 50, but then
Yeah.
that'd slowly tick down as well. So I don't know if I did it that way or I had it so that the amount of vibes relate to the amount on the channel point. But I
Mm.
don't think I did
Okay.
it that way. I think I had it so that they both went down together, so that the vibes would go into minus.
Hmm.
Just so, because things like that, I always find that people will want to keep it up. The good
Yeah.
vibes, keep the good vibes, keep the good vibes, keep the good vibes up. Because when you do things like that, you can have things happen when the vibes are low. So you could have random timeouts and
Yeah.
to time people out just for fun of it, just because well the vibes are the high. You high up. You need to high up the vibes.
Yeah, I did see that you can have actions go so that you can time people out. Oh, there's the mouse again. But yeah, it is cool how in depth these sub actions can get.
So right, it don't feel that bad on my end at the mosque. But yeah, um, there's all sorts you can do with it because you can use variables and stuff like that. You can have things happen when certain things happen. It really does just build on each other. You can just build a lot of logic, a lot of sense into these sort of things. So like if your vibes were high, you could have some channel points turn on, which played like sounds or give rewards. I think Jess has some redeems that like get a letter from her and stuff like that. But she could have only have them on when things are high, so you can't redeem them unless the vibes are high. Stuff like that. There's a lot of logic you can do in, like say with your push ups, you could have it so the push up counter's on screen, so it shows how many push ups you've got to do.
Oh yeah. That's definitely something that would keep me from having to do math at the end of stream.
It adds one, then it adds two, and it adds three, and or you can put that in the channel point. Say current total push ups is this many.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure what it is I want to do just yet, but I do the playlists for people, and I definitely want to do something that's kind of interactive with the redeems in the playlist. I'm not quite sure what it is just yet, but that did come to mind. It's just that when I was working on it, I'm like I couldn't think of anything that I could do just yet. But that's definitely something I want to work on.
You know, I think another redeem I use. I don't know if you ever saw my chat cube I used to have in what used to be in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
That were done with the increasing channel point, and what that used to do is it changed the name in the prompt saying who the current cube is
Oh,
and
okay.
stuff like, and add 10 each time. But it also has some logic that if the person who it was redeemed it, it would just break and then not do
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's all sorts of things you can do. It really does. Once you get into it, you'll find there's endless possibilities,
Yeah, for sure.
which is always really, really good. So this is one I'm really curious about because I don't know what you've really done. I think I'd seen the push up one because you'd asked me a question or so about it. Um, but the other thing we had to do is import something on the extension side. One of the great things about streamerbot is how you can share things. So you can literally just get someone's going to correct me. It's a byte string. Um, so you literally give streamerbot a string of random numbers and letters, and it can import code for you. So making
Yep.
things shareable really easily, which I don't know if you could do in Leon Board One. When I built that, was really difficult to do. Sharing was really difficult. Um, Streambot, it's really easy, just sharing code.
Yeah, that was a really like pleasant surprise. I just copy paste and then I can just make some changes to variables if I wanted to.
So what did you import then? Which one were it?
I imported it was like the random percent one.
Right, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, so I think um I forget like the exact name of it, but I think it might have been like their example might have been like if someone did it, it was saying so for example if you were in my stream you could tag someone in a message and do like the percent thing and it'd be like this person finds you this percent cute or something like that. So I wanted to make it more topical to my stream, maybe in a an inside joke that's been going on in my stream, and I landed on the fact that ever since I told that story about one of my professors in college, saying I had sad eyes, I now have a command where if you just do exclamation eyes, it'll tell you what percent your eyes are sad. So the what I took was definitely much more complicated. I got rid of a few of the variables since it was more about uh, targeting a user. This one is just whoever types it in chat is the one is the user, and they'll just get a percent. And yeah, that's the one. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm glad I am like quite happy with that.
Yeah, I mean it's really good. So you found it easy to import then?
Very. That was super easy. I think the only thing my issue so far broke its 110%. Yeah. That was probably me in that class. Um, but yeah, importing was super easy. I think my issue has been I keep forgetting to actually add things as an action. Like I put the action in and I'm like, oh, why isn't this working? And then it's because I actually haven't formally like added it as an action that can happen. So I just have to keep reminding myself to do that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and it's cool that you chose this one. This is quite a good one because it does actually a few targets, and you didn't
Mhm.
go you didn't go too complicated,
Yeah.
which were nice because obviously on the extension site there is a vast things on there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I was having a look and basically since I am this is my first time using the program, I wanted to make sure I was going for things that were simple, and then over time I can definitely uh, look to make things that are a little bit more complex.
yeah, I mean it is good. I think like you say, doing something simple is really good, and you've been able to edit it, which I think was really good. Being able
Hmm.
to because I think that's what we said before, and that you be able to import something, edit it to what you need, and be able to
Yeah.
say, okay, this this is mine now.
Yeah.
And we have this like conversation many times on in chat when someone shares something. It's like, hold on, that's just a copy of that,
Hmm.
and they've just added a few things to it. Um, and it's like, oh no, you've made it yours in the sense of you've added your take to it. But I always say that the baseline is
Yeah.
there. But what did you have anything else you were considering importing?
Um. Oh, what was it? There was something else, but it seemed a little ambitious for like a first time using. I can't remember what it was. It was. Uh, I'm struggling to remember what it was. Maybe if I have a look at the site, actually.
I said there is a lot on that site.
There is. It might have been something to do with like heart rate stuff is always cool. But I think you need other things to make that happen. Um,
Well, if you've got a heart rate monitor that connects to hyper rate or pulsoid, then
mhm.
you can start using that.
Oh, it might have been like the YouTube video, but then I thought about that and I'm like, that could get a little like complicated. People could just troll in a weird way. Um,
The
and
YouTube
if it's
video.
yeah, there's one where you can have YouTube videos play.
All right. Oh, I know that
Um,
one. I know that one.
visual extension? No, not visual extension. I can't remember where that one was, but
Uh,
there was one where you it would play a YouTube video
yeah,
stream.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean because I it's half mine. Someone else added something to it. Oh, I know what you mean.
Hmm. Yeah, I was looking through. I'm like, oh, look, Terrier's name's there.
I know. how much stuff I built. I built a lot on there, to be honest. So if you ever
Mhm.
import the point system,
Yeah,
there's a whole section on the point system, which a lot of that is built by me.
very nice.
There's a whole section on heat map.
Hmm.
So I'm pretty sure you had something like this to start with, but heat map allows users to click on your screen and things happen.
Mm.
A bit like you had the thing where you clicked on it through a brick sort of thing, if you know what I
Yeah, the
mean.
tomatoes and the bricks and stuff. I still
But
have that, and people talk about that, and I always forget. I'm always like, "What are you guys talking about?"
yeah,
I'm like, "Oh right, I still have that extension on."
I mean he is a bit iffy at the moment because of the guy who made it is changing some back end stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, if you ever seen Lifesaver stream, there's a Mario clicker on that, which
Mm.
I somewhat helped him build. I say somewhat, I did a lot of work on that.
I remember we were talking a while back. I think you ended up doing something with the tier lists, right? Where people in chat
Yeah,
can vote
yeah,
where it goes, and then it'll take the average. Um, so I do a lot of I like doing a lot of like sporkles on stream, and it'd be really cool if they could register answers
yeah. If they
onto
had
the
a
website.
if they had a built-in spot, if that tier list or Sparkle had somewhat like built-in Twitch integration, would be really cool.
Yeah,
But yeah, so chat request to play YouTube videos, play
that's it.
that's in smaller extensions if anyone
Yeah,
cares.
yeah,
Um, but again, I think that's it. It's the same thing as you said, percentage meter and urban dictionary as well.
yeah, yeah. I did see that as well. I'm like, yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah, use at your own risk.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's where I was like, oh,
I
I'll wait.
and I mean, I should really add some filters in it, but there's so many words that people want to filter. I'm like, just be sensible. Just use it at your own risk.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's again, it's just a fun redeem showing how you can use a API.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, there is a lot on there. There is a lot on the extension site. So if you do, and again, if you do get stuck with anything, you can always ask in the Discord,
hmm,
or I mean, you can ask me personally. But there is the Discord there. There is my Discord. There is there is extensions Discord. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot on there, and it's quite hard for me to say, here, pick something, and then you've got like, oh god, what do I pick? What do I pick? Because there's so
yeah,
much on there. And again, it's got to be what's the word? It's got to be suitable for your stream.
yeah, yeah. That's the thing. So, like I said, that's why I was pretty happy with the percentage one, and I definitely want to do something with the playlists. Once I figure out what that is. Uh,
Yeah. Ba- Basically, how that one works is you can give it a link or part of a link, depending if you've got
mm,
link protection on. And it'll play the YouTube video, but it'll only play it for X amount of seconds,
okay.
and then it goes. But with that one, you could use it and use bits. So if someone cheered, let's say, 100 bits and put a YouTube video with it, then it'd play that YouTube video for 100 seconds, example.
Okay.
Or you could do 200 bits and it play for 200 seconds, etc., etc.
That's a pretty cool detail.
Because you just have to edit it then to
Right.
your specifications. Do we do what else after then? No, that's kind of everything. So I don't want to wrap up yet because I do want to ask you because you did do something else as well, didn't you?
Hmm.
You did the GIF stuff. So what else have you added into the bot?
Yeah. So this was the first thing that when when you spoke to me about trying out streamerbot, this was like the immediate thing that came to mind, because I've been trying to find a way to do it through Stream Elements and through Chatbot. And it was that there's a running joke in How I Met Your Mother, and in that, whenever they say, you know, something like general knowledge, private information, someone in the group will always go, general knowledge, private information. So anytime that would happen in chat, a few of us now will always do a salute emoticon. And so I wanted a gif. I wanted the gif of Ted and Robin doing a salute. So we have that working now. I would like for it to be like very specific at that. I don't necessarily want it to pop up just when people say general, because they could just say general but not follow it up with anything. So it would be cool if they say general something, and then I get text to pop up as they salute to say like general knowledge. Um, but that might take a little research.
Yeah. General life ludes. Exactly.
General life foods.
Waldo, welcome in. I will say, I think we did mention what Waldo earlier. I can't remember in what context, but
Mhm.
learning the C# code part of thingy, it is a big play to Waldo. So he and it and Silverlink did a thing called Stream Up,
Mhm.
and so they build a lot of cool stuff as well for streamerbot. So that's something else worth checking out. Stream up tips. I think that's the right link. Yeah, there you go. So there's some stuff that I on the extension site. They're on there. Still free. Done through coffee, but I'll put a link to that as well below for anyone who's still here. But yeah, so what else apart from like the gifts and stuff like that? We know you wanted to move the first time chatters sort of thing. So
Mhm.
obviously it's called events. I think in Streamlabs chatbot.
Yeah.
In Streamerbot it's called first words.
Yeah.
So that's the first words that person said in that stream.
Yeah.
What apart from like them sort of things, is there anything else are you wanting to add into the bot?
Um, I'll have to see. Like I said, I want to make sure it's something that like fits fits the channel well and everything. But yeah, I definitely want to explore more. And I was saying to you earlier, I think moving everything onto streamerbot might be really handy, since everything just seems to be lighter. And I know chatbot is kind of intensive, and just making the workload on the computer as low as possible for streams would be really helpful. Um, but yeah, in terms of like, do I have something in mind right now? Not necessarily, but when I do, I'll update you. I definitely
Yeah,
do want to think of something.
I mean it's nice that you've say look. With fair, you could have easily said, look, I've used Streamerbot a little bit. Streamerbot probably not for me. Probably a bit too complicated. Stream Elements
Mhm.
does exactly what I need it to do, but which probably could be the case if Stream Elements so like allowed for text to be sent at the same time as it's playing a sound. I think we spoke about this, and
Yeah.
little things like that make Stream Elements really annoying. The fact that you can't send text and a sound at the same time,
Yeah.
or have something do that way. But again, as you said, tier list. You always like to do a tier list. So having something like say my code that where everybody voted, and then worked out an average is something that could work for you. Um, Depending on what time you stream. I built something that taps into a football API, so you can get goal alerts on stream.
Oh,
Um, it's not perfect, but
that can be cool.
it
Yeah.
works sorta. It kind of works, which is what most things with me does. It works as well as I can make it work.
Right. I mean,
Uh,
I do usually stream during game times. It's just, yeah, that could potentially work. Um,
but
yeah, there's a few things I think
I'm
you
I'm
could do.
I'm trying to think of your redeems. One thing you could do, actually thinking, um, you could have a list of all your football shirts that
Oh
you
yeah.
wear, and then when someone redeems kit up, it tells you which
Oh.
kit to wear,
Hmm.
and then it'll make it so it don't say the same kit until you've gone through them all. Oh,
That's a good point. That's a good one, actually. Yeah.
it'll
Get.
just tell you kits you need to wear,
Hmm. Oh yeah.
and
Can I get like a wheel going or something?
something like that. Or and again, because you can change channel points, it could tell you which kit you're currently wearing if someone redeemed kit up.
Oh.
So it could say current kit, Florentina
Hmm.
2002 or whatever kit you've got. Florentina were the first one that came to my mind. I'm pretty
That
sure
is
you've
my
got
favorite.
Florent.
That's my
It's
favorite one.
one of your nice ones in it.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I was thinking about. Oh, that's what it was. I was thinking about maybe making the kit ones be the one that got progressively more expensive, but I like that idea better.
I do like redeeming the kit one.
Hmm. I've got a couple. I've got a couple more. I recently got the U.S. jersey. Like I got the U.S. jersey to like arrive the day before the USA Netherlands game, and most of my jerseys are like fake jerseys that look pretty decent. This U.S. one looks like dog shit. I'm very upset. Uh, it's a fake jersey that looks fake.
But yeah, I mean, again, I always say, we always say, with streamer, the possibilities are generally endless. You can literally
Mhm.
do so much with it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just insane. Sometimes it's just a matter of putting the time in to do it, which I know is not always easy. I say, oh, you have to put a bit of time in. It makes it sound easy, but we know it's not easy.
Hmm.
I mean, I spent I don't know what best part of 10 hours yesterday trying to do something,
No,
just
I
one
mean,
little
hey,
thing,
I appreciate having homework again.
all because Waldo said that he wants this added to it. Waldo literally made me work for 12 hours without giving me very much help. Anyway, so if anyone has any questions for Nagy, feel free to highlight your message and send them in, or just send them. Um, and just before, what's your streaming schedule like? 'Cause you haven't streamed in actually a while,
I
have
have not
you?
streamed a while. It's
What's your general
yeah,
schedule like?
yeah, it's a weird time with work and other things. Um, I right now I'm at a point where when I get home, I mostly want to play games for me. But I think after the new year, schedule should be a little bit more open. So we'll see. But I do typically when I do stream, it is in the evening for me. So afternoon UK time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
I
we'll
mean,
see.
we can all see the times above me, above Nagy. You can see the
Yeah,
time difference.
very late.
He's in the future, so
I am in the future. So if you want to ask me questions about the future, I can answer them.
um, did you see? Just going back because I was a while ago, me and Nagy did a stream on the World Cup. Um, but did you see that report of the time traveler who said he's predicted the World Cup?
Oh yeah. The video.
Yeah, something like that. I didn't look into it. I looked at it once and went, nah, I can't go
What
with that.
what's his claim?
I think he says France win 2-0 or something like that. Did he say Brazil win the World Cup? I can't remember what he said.
I think he did say France.
But part of me thinking it said Brazil, but obviously that's wrong.
Let's see. Time trap.
But yeah, anyone who don't follow Nage while he's doing this, I will say that Nage is a really good person. And he does normally play games, a good range of games, to be honest, I would say. Witcher. He's
You
played
love The
Last of
Witcher.
Us. He's
Yeah.
played. I think he's played Spider Man on
Did
stream.
play Spider-Man, yeah. I think the last game I played was As Dusk Falls. I do like those like narrative games where all you're really doing is making decisions. And yeah, like a good roguelite or roguelike. Next time I do stream, it will most likely be Risk of Rain. Uh, been back on that train. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like I say, I just enjoy. Like I say, wouldn't be if I didn't enjoy your streams,
Oh, thank you,
but I
man.
do. I really enjoy your streams, and I do like the narrative, like saying the narrative ones. Waldo likes a lot of narrative stuff, not just like call Waldo out, but
Mhm.
he's recently been put. Last thing I think I saw him play, apart from the Minecraft he's been doing recently, he's been doing the what they called, Little Hope, Man of Medan sort of thing, and there's the new
Oh
one,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've
them
played
kind of games.
3 of those. There's a new one out already, but I haven't
Yeah,
gotten that one.
is that the Dark Pictures or something that it's called, something
Yeah,
like
the
that.
Dark Pictures anthology.
Yeah,
Which,
he recently played that, and one thing he did,
Devil and Me, that's it. Yeah.
he had his heart rate monitor were
Mhm.
linked to his channel points, and it changed the price of his channel points based on his heart rate monitor, so you can make him
Oh,
jump.
interesting. That's pretty cool.
After stream, I'll send you a really good clip of Waldo. I'll
Mhm.
send you a good clip of Waldo. My favorite Waldo clip.
That's cool though. I like that it interacts with something that fluctuates like that.
Although fun story, just before we wrap up, because this is a good
Mhm.
story. I would talk to Waldo about that code in changing his channel points,
Mhm.
and I was flicking around Discord, and you know how Discord says you're playing a game.
Yeah.
Sometimes I noticed Waldo playing the Quarry,
Mm.
so
I
I
have
thought
one with that too.
so. I opened up his stream. Bear in mind he weren't streaming at the time, and I noticed that he had his sound effects channel point on, so I redeemed it. And he said, I made him jump a little bit. I made him jump a little bit, which always cracks me up. You can imagine you're there trying to set up your stuff for your stream, and all of a sudden someone plays one of your scary sound effects.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've had it where, I'll wrap up a stream and then, I go down, get some food or something, get some water, refresh, come back, sit at my desk, and I still have OBS open and I get like a follow. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I used to have the Sonic sounds. So the Sonic
Mhm.
1-Up sound, I think,
Mhm.
was yeah, that could be the one.
Yeah.
But um, but yeah, if no one's got any more questions, what Nagi, we will wrap up. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for
Do
having me, man. And
do give Nagi a follow and do check him out. He is really a good streamer. Really is a good streamer. Okay.
yeah, and
I mean,
thank you for introducing me to streamerbot. I think I sort of look forward to like getting creative with it.
yeah, and I think one of the things I do like about streamer is the community. So if you do have any trouble, do reach out to me or even in Discord if you want to.
Yeah, sounds
Either
good.
way, there'll be someone who helps you. And if you get stuck, always ask. But again, this will be the last podcast of the year. I need to plan who my first guest of the new year will be. I have an idea, but I need to ask them and work it out. If you haven't joined the Discord, do join the Discord. I did actually start a giveaway in the Discord. I didn't tell anybody, but there was a giveaway for a game. I don't know if it's ended, but it might have ended. No, it ends in an hour. So
Golf.
all you can do is react. I don't know why that's not sending. It's somewhere. There you go. So you wanna get in, get in. I'll spam it a little bit. If you watch on YouTube, then the giveaway will be over, but there probably will be another one on there. So do join the giveaways and react to the thing if you want to get notifications for the giveaways, because I don't like pinging everyone. But all you need to do to enter is press a little party popper thing, and you can enter. Hopefully, first time I've done it, so we're gonna wing it. But yeah, that's it. Once again, I've dawdled long enough now. So once again, gnaggy, thank you, and
Thank you.
everybody else, have a good New Year, and I'll see you in the new year.
Yeah, take care, everyone.